From the book The Lost Continent of Mu by Colonel Churchward, written in 1931. Above, you can see the image in the video, but in the book it's written above. Above, some interesting symbols and vignettes found on the Naakal tablets. Vignette 1A, fine, straight, horizontal lines, symbol for space. Vignette 1B symbolizes the seven-headed serpent moving in space. The surrounding circle is the universe. Vignette 2, wavy horizontal lines, symbol for earthly waters. Vignette 3, the circle is a picture of the sun. The sun was the collective symbol of all the attributes of the deity. Vignette 4, fine vertical lines from the sun symbolizing his forces, which are affinitive to the earth's light force, which, being set in movement, gives light upon the earth. Vignette 5, vertical wavy lines from the sun symbolize the sun's forces, which are affinitive to the earth's heat force. They meet and the earth's heat force becomes active. Vignette 6a, vertical dotted lines from the sun symbolize his forces, which are affinitive to the earth's life force. Vignette 6b symbolizes the sun's affinitive forces striking the earth's life force and cosmic eggs, which are in the water, and bringing them into life. Vignette 6c symbolizes the sun's affinitive forces striking the earth's life force and cosmic eggs, which are on the land, and hatching them into life. Vignette 7. This is the geometrical symbol that was assigned by the ancients to Mu. It is also the hieratic letter M and reads Mu, Ma, Mother, Land, Field, Country, and Mouth. Vignette 8. The Tau was the symbol of resurrection in Mu. It is a picture of the constellation, the Southern Cross. The Tau also symbolizes bringing forth, emerge, etc. Vignette 9. The lotus flower was the floral symbol of Mu. Tradition says that the lotus was the first flower to appear upon the earth, and for that reason it was adopted as the symbolical flower of the motherland. Vignette 10. 3 was the symbolic numeral adopted to represent Mu. This was because the continent consisted of 3 separate areas of land divided from each other by narrow channels or seas. Vignette 11. Ke, the leaping deer, is frequently found in the Naakal tablets. It is the symbol of first man. This animal was selected to symbolize the first man because of its leaping power. Man came on earth perfectly developed. He leaped upon the earth in his first and original form without going through nature's development of life. In other words, he was a special creation. Vignette 12. This was the ancient symbol for fire in Mu. The lines begin thick at the bottom and wave and taper to a fine point. Vignette 13. This vignette appears on a tablet describing the raising of the mountains and the formation of gas belts. Therefore, we see where the Egyptians obtained their symbols of fire, also the scarab. The Naakals from India carried them to Egypt. The Egyptian fire symbol is only a modification of the Naga. The Egyptians put a handle on the Naga and turned it into a sword. It is not hard to find a reason for the Egyptian change or modification. In their hieroglyphics, they wanted to depict 2 forms of fire, the fires of the underneath and actual flames. This they did to record the destruction of the motherland, which they say sank into a fiery abyss and was enveloped in flames as she went down. The symbol is shown in our chapter on the Egyptian sacred book, the Book of the Dead. Vignette 14. I consider this one of the most interesting of all those found on the Na-Kau tablets. It depicts man's advent on earth in the land of Mu. I shall first dissect it by showing separately each symbol. A is the lotus, the symbolical flower of Mu. B, 3 pieces of foliage given Mu's numeral. C, the hieratic letter M, Mu's alphabetical symbol. D, the Tau symbol of resurrection, emerging, coming forth, and to appear. The head of the Tau, being the hieratical letter M, also means land, so land is emerged. E is the water symbol. The emerged land is surrounded by water. F is Ke, the first man. This vignette tells 3 times the name of the land, Mu, by the symbols A, B, and C. Man, symbol F, is in the act of appearing on earth, leaping in the exuberance of his spirits. This vignette was the cause of my word search for information regarding Mu. I found that the tablets included several subjects and that it requires a series of tablets to explain each subject. Each series ran from 2 tablets, the shortest, to 16, the longest. Fortunately for us, we found 2 tablets that were keys to the various symbols and hieroglyphics. I arranged the tablets as follows. Series 1, a description of the creation down to and including the advent of man. Series 2, the raising of the mountains by the fires of the underneath gases and provisions for the disposal of future gases. Series 3, the origin and workings of the great forces throughout the universe. Series 4, the origin and workings of the Earth's great primary force, showing 2 divisions and differentiating between the 2. Series 5, the origin and workings of the Earth's great atomic force, a subdivision of one of the 2 principal divisions. Series 6, the origin of the force that creates and sustains life with its workings, a subdivision of one of the 2 principal divisions. Series 7, the origin of life, showing what life is, the changes in the forms of life, imperative as the Earth developed. Series 8, the creation of man, showing what man is and in what he differs from all other creations. Series 9, the advent of man upon earth and where he first appeared, which was called in the tablets the motherland of man. Unquestionably, these were only the commencement of a long series, probably the early history of Mu. Series 10, the series consisted of 2 tablets, each double the size of the others, possibly larger. They serve as key to the writings and vignettes on the other tablets. It was the first 2 tablets of this series which started the work, ending in the translation of all. However, had we not possessed the key, our chances for deciphering the rest of the tablets would have been exceedingly small. Without the key, I do not believe that we could have deciphered 1/2 of the writings. Our work was made simpler by the old priest's amazing knowledge of the past. If he only grasped the first line of secret writing, he knew what the rest of the tablet contained. He told me it was believed certain other temples had many such records that had been saved when the ancient cities were destroyed. Taking then the foregoing order, the tablets start by saying, originally, the universe was only a soul or spirit. Everything was a thought life, calm, silent, soundless. Void and dark was the immensity of space. Only the Supreme Spirit, the great self-existent power, the Creator, the 7-headed serpent, moved within the abyss of darkness. The desire came to him to create words, and he created words. And the desire came to him to create the earth with living things upon it. And he created the earth and all therein. And this is the manner of the creation of the earth, with all the living things upon it. The 7 superlative intellects of the 7-headed serpent gave 7 commands. I shall use the Nakao esoteric meanings as they are the most intelligible to the reader. The demotic are all symbolical and not easily understood. The first intellectual command was, "Let the gases which are without form and scattered through space be brought together, and out of them let the earth be formed." The gases then assembled themselves into the form of a whirling mass. The second command was, "Let the gases solidify to form the earth." Then the gases solidified. Volumes were left on the outside, out of which water and the atmosphere were to be formed, and volumes were enveloped within the new world. Darkness prevailed, and there was no sound, for as yet neither the atmosphere nor the waters were formed. The third command was, "Let the outside gases be separated and let them form the atmosphere and the waters." And the gases were separated. One part went to form the waters, and the waters settled upon the earth and covered its face, so that no land anywhere appeared. The gases that did not form the waters formed the atmosphere, and the light was contained in the atmosphere. And the shafts of the sun met the shafts of the light in the atmosphere and gave birth to light. Then there was light upon the face of the earth. The heat was also contained in the atmosphere, and the shafts of the sun met the shafts of the heat in the atmosphere and gave it life. Then there was heat to warm the face of the earth. The fourth command was, "Let the gases that are within the earth raise the land above the face of the waters." Then the fires of the under earth lifted the land on which the waters rested until it appeared above the face of the waters, and this was the dry land. The fifth command was, "Let life come forth in the waters." And the shafts of the sun met the shafts of the earth in the mud of the waters, and there formed cosmic eggs, life germs, out of particles of the mud. Out of these cosmic eggs came forth life as commanded. The sixth command was, "Let life come forth upon the land." And the shafts of the sun met the shafts of the earth in the dust of the land, and out of it formed cosmic eggs, and from these cosmic eggs life came forth upon the earth as was commanded. And when all this was done, the seventh intellect said, "Let us make man after our own fashion, and let us endow him with powers to rule this earth." Then Narayana, the seven-headed intellect, the creator of all things throughout the universe, created man and placed within his body a living, imperishable spirit. And man became like Narayana in intellectual power. Then was creation complete. The seven commands are without doubt also indicative of 7 periods of time. A period of time is not measured by any particular number of years. It may mean a day, a year, or millions of years. Thus, these tablets do not assign any particular length of time to creation. It may have taken millions or tens of millions of years to accomplish what was recorded in the tablets. It is merely stated that the earth was created in 7 periods of time, not in 7 days as recorded in the biblical legend. The general resemblance of the opening part of the Nakal record as regards the story of the creation to the account as found in the Bible is remarkable, and it's also remarkable how great are the divergences thereafter. Legends of the creation are prevalent among peoples throughout the world, and in all instances I have found so much of the material identical that the only conclusion to be drawn is that they are of common origin and their genesis was in Mu. The seventh command was the hardest of all to translate. The actual deciphering was easy, but we found it impossible to find modern words that would convey identically the same meanings as the ancient. For instance, soul or spirit were the nearest words we could find to represent what was put into the body of man. The word living may or may not be exactly what was intended in the original. The word imperishable is without doubt absolutely correct, but what does the phrase after our own fashion actually mean? Certainly not in our own image. It in some way refers to mentality and mystic powers, and this is substantiated by the words, endow him with powers to rule the earth. The Bible uses a good symbolical example when it refers to the breath of God. At any rate, it is clear that the meaning is special powers received from God and may therefore be looked upon as a part of God, as a leaf is a part of the tree. Man came from God and must return whence he came. The Nahakal tablets were exceedingly difficult to decipher, there being so many vignettes and tableaux and so little hieratic writing. Some of the parts were also so worn and obliterate we could make nothing of them. Words also appeared for which we could find no equivalent in modern languages. At the commencement of our studies, my priestly friend informed me that it would be impossible to decipher ancient tablets and inscriptions without knowledge of what he called the Nagamaya language, as all of the ancient writings that have to do with Mu are in this language, and as all Nahakal writings have an esoteric or hidden meaning, known only to the Nahakals and to those whom they taught. To this hidden language he held a key, and after he had taught me its use, it proved a sesame that unlocked for me many strange doors. For more than 2 years I studied this ancient language with intermittent decipherings to test my progress. My old Hindu friend and teacher remarked when we had completed our task, "My son, we have got the general meaning but not the perfect detail." I must candidly admit that without this dear old gentle friend, the tablets could never have been deciphered by me. I find the reflection of the teachings of these tablets or other similar ones in the old Hindu literature, also in old literature other than Hindu, as an example. Hindu, the Manavas Dharma Shastra, Book 2, Sloka 74. In the beginning only existed the infinite called Adite, Book 1, Sloka 8. This germ became an egg. Book 1, Sloka 10. The visible universe in the beginning was only darkness. Book 1, Sloka 9. He first produced the waters and in them deposited an egg. Rig Veda, Section 3, 1-2, V4, pp. 316-317. In this egg was reproduced the intellect of the Supreme Being under the form of Buddha, through whose union with the goddess Maya, the good mother of all the gods and man. This corresponds with Adam and Eve 1,700 years later. Page 3. Other than him, nothing existed. Darkness there was. Page 4. He who measures out the light in the air. Aitareya Aranya, Slokas 4-8. Originally, this universe was only a soul. Nothing active or inactive existed. The thought came to him, I wish to create words. And so he created the words, the light, the mortal beings, the atmosphere that contains the light, the earth that is perishable, and the lower depths that of the waters. Yucatan Nahuatl. The particles of atmosphere on being hit by the divine arrows became animated. Heat, which determines the movement of matter, was developed in it. There is no question whatever, and both written and legendary history say that these books were written from ancient temple records, and that the Nahakals wrote the temple histories and taught religion and science. In southern India, the temples have libraries of ancient writings, but none apparently go back beyond the Sanskrit. I worked over several of these with high priests, and they were all in Sanskrit and on religious subjects. As none of them contain any facts of historical value, I was not sufficiently interested to continue their study. There are considerable variations of the legend of the creation in different sections of the world, which no doubt is due which no doubt is due to the manner in which it has been handed down to generation after generation. Startling as it may appear, the most scientific version and the one above all others except the Nakal that can be sustained by geological research is the version found among the semi-savages and cannibalistic races of the South Sea Islands, especially the Marquesans. The Hindu, Chaldean, Egyptian, Maya, and the Greek in later times describing the creation eliminated the scientific sections and recorded by the use of symbols the facts without the whys and wherefores. The reason for this is well told by Clement of Alexandria, who said, "The Egyptians neither entrusted their mysteries to everyone nor degraded their secrets of divine matters by disclosing them to the profane, reserving them for the heir apparent to the throne and to such of the priests who excel in virtue and wisdom." In other words, the esoteric meanings were not given out publicly. It is a certainty that the Egyptian legend of the creation from which Moses wrote the biblical account came from India when the Nakals went to Egypt as missionaries to teach the seven sacred inspired writings, religions, and the sciences. Therefore, the dramatic story taught in Sunday schools throughout the Christian world today originated in the lost continent of Mu. I end this chapter with two of the missing links in the Nakal tale of the creation, with two of Nivan's Mexican stone tablets. Tablet number 1231. This is one of the most interesting and in all respects one of the most valuable tablets in the whole of Nivan's collection of over 2,600 tablets, for it is the key to the movements and workings of the universe. Number 1231 is a symbol of the sacred four, which under innumerable names and guises have played an important part in man's conception of the Creator and the creation, from earliest of ancient writings down to and including the present time. From the book The Lost Continent of Mu by Colonel Churchward, written in 1931.